Hey everybody, Andre here, and today I want to show you how to use serial techniques in all kinds of music. Now, serialism, usually associated with 12-tone music, atonality, but I use these techniques, these basic techniques, so often in my own music, and I don't consider myself to be an atonal composer. I don't consider myself to be a 12-tone composer. I mean, I certainly dabble in sounds. I think that it's kind of fun to go outside of the normal, the quote-unquote normal sounds that you will get in music. But I use these techniques very often when I'm stuck, when I need to get out of a compositional rut. Maybe I need some inspiration. And these techniques do one very, very important thing, which is they restrict you. They provide restrictions. And oftentimes, that really helps to narrow down the kinds of things you're going to do in your music. So I want to show you these basic things. But first, let's just compose a little line here. So we'll compose a little line, and we'll do it in treble clef, and we'll do it in C major. Sure, we'll just no accidentals, no key signature, just G, A, F, B, C. So I've removed the manuscript paper portion of this, and we're gonna write using only letter names. So G, A, F, B, C. So this is our prime row, prime row. And the technique that we're going to be using today is the matrix box. And the matrix box is amazing because it gives you all sorts of interesting, combinations of notes that you can have. So right away we have two different ways to see this. So we have the prime row, which is left to right, and the retrograde, which is right to left. So here's what the original thing sounds like. Okay, so G, A, F, B, C. I'll play it again. Now the retrograde sounds like this. So very related and basically using the same notes. So you have two motives right away. Okay, cool. So not only can you read from left to right and right to left, you can also read up to down. And the down thing is the inversion. And so what's the inversion of this row? Well, up a step from G, that's a whole step, right? It's A. Down a step from G, down a whole step, is F. Cool. Up to F, or excuse me, A to F is down a major third. So up a major third from F is also A. That's kind of fun. F up to B, that's a tritone. A down a tritone, E flat. B up a half step to C. E flat down a half step to D. So the inversion of this, here's the original, G, A, F, B, C. Here's the inversion. So that's kind of fun. Right away you have two different sets of things here. And not only do you have the inversion, but you also have the retrograde inversion. Backwards. So just from these two things here, you have two sets of notes that you can use as a motive, either in full or partially. So here's what all of it sounds like. The prime row. Here's the retrograde. Here's the inversion. And here's the retrograde inversion. How cool is that? So from our initial 5 notes, we now have basically 20 different notes that we can use, different combinations of things. But you see that there's a big blank space. So you can fill this in for every single one of these things. And you can then use a variety of these forms. So I'm going to fill this in, maybe fast forward through it, and you'll see. So now you have your box, your matrix box. So you can read it that way, you can read it that way, you can read it that way, you can read it that way. And so right away, you have all of these scales that I will now play you. G, A, F, B, C. So there you have it. That's the matrix box and how you can use it in tonal music. How you then apply it to an actual composition, well, that's up to you. Let me give you some ideas. Okay, so you can do, motives. Right away, you have all these different combinations of notes that you can have. You can extract things, extract combinations. Maybe you want to just use that part, and maybe you just want to use that part. Combinations of things. Maybe you want to choose four different combinations of things. So instead of using all of these things, you can use G, A, F, E flat, A, B flat, B, F, E, D flat, G, A flat. That actually sounds, that almost sounds like a 12-tone row. It's not quite a 12-tone, but it's closer to the original idea behind this. But there you have it. That's a matrix box and how you might use this in tonal music. It doesn't always have to be a 12-tone row. I want to take this a step further because that's motivically, but what if you want to use this technique harmonically? So we started in C major, right? So I'll just give us a C major triad, and in fact, let's just go C major 7 triad because that's the full tonic. You can keep going however far you want, but let's just have this. So our chord can be played like this, right? But that's our C major 7 chord. What about the inversion? So C up to E, that's a major third up. What about C down? A flat, a major third. E to G, that's a minor third. A to F, that's a minor third. G to B, that's a major third. F down, a major third, is D flat. So the inversion of the C major chord is this chord, which is kind of fun. So you have basically two chords that are half step apart. So they might seem very different, but they're actually not that different. You can remove the 7th too. You can have just C major and then F minor. So like a 1 to 4 relationship. That's kind of cool. So you can go further, just like we did before. We can fill out the matrix box. So now we have our completed matrix box, and here are all the chords. I'm going to play them from the top, bottom. I'm going to play all the prime rows, and then I'm going to play all of the inverted chords. So I'm going to play basically like this, and then I'm going to play like this at first. So here we go. From the top, C major 7, A flat major 7, F major 7, D flat major 7. I've made up a composition in 2 seconds using the chords that we have here. And it's infinitely repeatable. You can do this for any kind of chord. It doesn't have to be in thirds. It could be in fourths. It can be in seconds. It can be whatever. But that's the idea. So to recap, how do you do this? So get some notes. Get some notes. Cool. Arrange the notes. using a matrix box. And then step 3 is write some music. It's not hard. It's really not hard. And this concept basically is coming from serialism, but it's really not that serial. I mean, this is tonal, right? This is just harmonies. So I hope this was useful for you. If you enjoyed this, show me some music that you're using that uses these techniques. I mean, that would be really fun. Yeah. If you liked the video, please consider hitting that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel. I upload occasionally. Also, if you're wondering about the gloves, my hands are incredibly dry. It's winter over here, and yeah, I figured you didn't want to look at my skin. But I hope this was useful for you. I hope this was fun. Maybe you learned something. Maybe this is something that you knew about. But I certainly use this in my music all the time. So thanks for watching. See you next time.